to whoever's watching. My name is Rachel and welcome to my channel. So today I'm just going to be drawing my squad as, or my friend group or whatever, as the Scooby-Doo gang. And this was their request. Well, mostly Erin's request, but so here we go. I'm just sketching out the basic shape right now, and the canvas was a little bit too wide, I guess, or long, because as you can see, the picture, the reference picture I was going off of is quite small and like long and squat. So I made a I made a myriad of mistakes on this one, so you'll have to forgive me, but I think it turned out okay in the end. I did a lot of editing off screen at the end, but it was monotonous stuff, so I decided not to include it. But anyway, here we go. I'm currently drawing my friend Katie, and this looks more like me than it does her, so at the end at the end of the sketching process, I switch our heads. But then this is Kim. She's really pretty. She has red hair. They're all really pretty, but you know, whatever. And then the weirdo with the glasses in the middle is me. Kind of awkward. But I wasn't too worried about how I looked because it wasn't that important to me. And then this is Erin. She's tall. That's it. I don't know. I tried to capture their features in the style of Scooby-Doo, which was kind of difficult because it's very simple. So my usual techniques of shading and whatnot would not work, and so I got kind of nervous, so I started to draw the background first. And I wasn't really too sure how the background looked because of you know, them in front of it. So I did my best here, but most of it is just the green sky and ground. And I think there was like some lighting in the background, which is that like beige white stuff. And there was a little cliff behind Fred, so I wanted to draw that. And there were a bunch of palm trees, and this part was pretty easy. Just going up and drawing a line, drawing a squiggle at the top, and then a bunch of leaves, quote unquote, after that. So it was pretty easy, but I wanted to get them to the point where they looked in the same position as they were on the reference picture. And I wasn't sure that I got that, but also if you look, that palm tree is green, but you know, it's kind of hard to tell because I wanted to create depth, but I guess the green was a little dark, so it didn't really work out, but it's okay. It's okay. And here I'm just trying to create some texture because, you know, I don't want the background, the ground of the background to just be like barren, I guess, and not textured, because then it just doesn't look right. And so now we get to the drawing part, the inking in part. And I started here to ink in Katie's face, and then I decided that I didn't like her face as her face, so I switched it off camera and then drew her face again. So I'm starting with Kim because I felt like Kim was the most accurate, even though she looks really scary in this for some reason. Oh well. But this inking process is gonna take a while, so you know. So a problem that I faced was that I wasn't very good at being symmetrical. Usually I'm alright, but I don't know. This time it was a struggle, so I did my best, but I don't think it worked out, and that's why I ended up changing it at the end, but it looks still pretty similar to this, so this is what we're gonna go with. Their necks are actually just like lines downward, so in the reference picture. So I had to change it toward the end because I usually draw necks with like a slight curve because that's kind of how they look in real life. But I had to make a lot of changes to my style. The hair was actually very difficult. It wasn't too difficult on Kim because her hair was similar enough to Daphne's that I could basically copy with a few changes. Now, I don't like tracing any of my work, so you'll see that I just go back, zoom out, look at the picture, go back in, detail it, zoom out, go back in, and I repeat that for a while. I was kind of struggling with the shapes here actually because it looks fine, like her body looks fine, but their arms and their bodies are in such a simple form. It it was really hard for me to continue to make it the same. I'm not good at making different styles, so it was a challenge for me, but it was actually quite enjoyable. I liked it. Here I'm struggling with what I said with the hair because the hair is shaped like it's kind of curved in a way. It doesn't really have a lot of points. So I end up changing this, but I start out with my hair like kind of looking kind of droopy or whatever, but it changes, I promise. And then here's my really lopsided body. It's kind of unfortunate, but I was trying to emulate the style again, and it doesn't really work out here as well as it did in my Studio Ghibli video, which I was very proud of. This I was, I'm not sure how I feel about it. We'll see at the end, but. And now I'm just making the little lines, and I lengthened it to show our like bottom half a little bit more because you you can't really just cut it off. I mean, I guess I could have cropped it, but then I would be too smart for that, but whatever. So I ended up kind of botching the bottoms, so I ended up cropping it out later. It's okay. My favorite is Erin, which is the person I'm working on now, because she ends up looking a lot like herself, but also a lot like Shaggy. So, and she requested all these so that she would be Shaggy and Katie would be Fred and I would be one of the other ones. And I was happy with the way her shirt was and everything. It was simple, but it was very similar to the style because I didn't really have to change much out of hers. Now Scooby was a lot harder because he has a lot more odd shapes, and you'll see that in Fred's clothes and Velma's clothes, but it's mostly noticeable on Scooby because of like his mouth and his like that weird ear shape, like what the heck, but his mouth mostly was difficult because I had to keep looking back for the shape because he's kind of in a confused state. I'm not exactly sure what's going on in this picture, but I liked it, so I get to draw everybody confused, which is great. I wish I had chosen a better reference photo, but oh well, I've already finished the drawing and it looks alright, so. Now, if I had drawn the Scooby characters in my style, it might have been a bit easier because then I could do what I'm used to with just that guidelines. But I like challenging myself, and so, oh gosh, here we go with Katie. Uh, I feel really bad about this because Katie is really pretty in real life, and I kind of made her look like Voldemort. It's okay. Uh, I was very off with the symmetry on Katie's, and so when I went back with the symmetry ruler because I was having a tough time, it was like completely tilted. I don't remember which side it was tilted to, but it was really bad. And when I drew her, it ended up with, as you can see, like her right side. I'm sorry, I have problems with my right and my left because I'm stupid, but whatever. But her right side is kind of like closer to the midline rather than her left side. So when I drew it with the left side and the right side symmetrical, she looked fat, and that's not what I was going for. But oh, here I'm just blocking it in to see that I can drop in the colors without having it fill up the face, because unlike Studio Ghibli where they have cell shading, they don't have any shading at all in Scooby-Doo. They only have flat colors, which is nice, but it doesn't give the amount of dimension that I want. And I had to change up the skin tones a bit. I think Erin's was pretty close. Mine was too pink, so I had to make it more yellow because, pink. But I think Kim's was too dark, and I don't think I changed Katie's, but here we go. Blah, 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 blah. Moving in the blue. I tried doing this thing on Procreate where you continue filling with recolor, but every time I did that, it would end up like filling in a part that I didn't want to fill, and I'm stupid, so I can't do it correctly. So actually, while coloring this in, I created a different layer other than the line work that I copied the line work off of to drop in the colors, because I didn't want to ruin the line work, which ended up helping actually, because even though when I had to erase some lines to fix it on both layers, it ended up making the lines thicker so that when I dropped in the colors, it wouldn't blur the edges of the lines like it does sometimes. And I decided to add lips to me because I do wear makeup more often than everybody else. And it added a little extra, I think, because it gave it a little bit more variety. So here I'm moving it, which was difficult, and you'll see that the lines are okay. They end up being a little bit blurred, but it's fine. I was trying to make it as close as possible, but if you zoom in really close, you can see that they're slightly different, and here I'm struggling with that because the amount of times that I had to change it, even though I changed it the exact same as the layer below it, apparently it doesn't work like that, so whatever. But so here's when I flipped the canvas and realized that my symmetry was absolute trash and that my face was really ugly. So I didn't like my face. I do have like a square shaped head, but I thought that the chin and everything added too much detail, so I looked like an older woman, like how they would do an older woman in Scooby. So I changed up my chin shape. I changed up my hairline to make it smaller because I promise I don't have that big of a forehead. I mean, it's still large, but it's fine. I added some brown freckles to Kim's face instead of black because they did have brown freckles on Velma's face instead of black, and I do think that it added more variety to her character design. Katie looks so sad in this picture. Um, I didn't mean, I was trying to match their facial expressions, but for some reason, it was weird. And also, at this point, her neck, I realized, wasn't like the others where it was straight, so I fixed that, and then it turned out to be freakishly long, so I ended up having to fix that, and I was getting frustrated at this point because of all the mistakes that I had made. So in a minute, I'll end up just trying to compare, see what I did wrong, and then I'll go off screen and try and change it. Here I'm trying to figure it out with the like spacing, I suppose, the proportions of where the painting should be, I guess. I'm not sure if I did a good job. I like it, but I'm stressing out. I think I did a good job with Scooby ish. Now his face is kind of squat, but whatever. But I'm not sure about everybody else. I did try and match the style. I think I did a good job with Erin and Kim. And here's the finished one of all the changes that I made. So thanks for watching. Bye.